your favorite girl, Enjoli, back with another episode with the Church Girl Problems podcast. Let's go. Listen, y'all already know what to do. Y'all should know the drill by now. Go ahead and get your notebooks, get your phones, get your notes app out, because the point of this is so we can heal and journey through this together. While you getting your notebook and your pen, make sure you like the channel, make sure you sharing this link with your homegirl, your homeboy, whoever, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the episodes that are dropping. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So I got some special guests on the show today, y'all. And so what we gonna do, I'm gonna have my girls introduce themselves and we just gonna get into it. So ma'am, to my far right, please introduce yourself. Give me your name and if on a date night, are you doing sneakers or heels?
Ooh. Okay, well, I'm Letitia Clay, to be exact. Friends call me T or Tisha. On a date night, I guess it really just depends on the vibe, because I'm a sneaker girl at heart, but baby know how to put it on. You know what I mean? So if he says, give me a little something, then I'm going heels.
Okay.
But if the vibe is we're gonna chill, we're gonna enjoy just each other or go out and do something fun, then I'm gonna wear my sneakers.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. And my beauty in the middle, who is you, girl?
Same question.
Yes. Give me your name, date night, sneakers or heels.
Okay. My name is Alyssa Snooty, and so happy to be here. This is my girl. Can't wait to tell you all about my church girl problems. But it's sneakers. It'll be a dress and sneakers. It'll be a skirt and sneakers. It's always sneakers.
Okay.
For me, unfortunately.
That's all
I got.
Hey, whatever.
But I have a bunch of heels. That's my problem. It's like I have a whole plethora, like a whole closet full of heels.
Yeah.
But I always put on some sneakers.
Whatever your style is, that's what's up. We know how you know how to put it on. Okay. So so not only are my friends beautiful, they are also business women as well. So we are gonna give them a chance to drop their business. If you need to reach out to them, drop a red heart in the link if you need my girls to reach out to you. So Tisha, let us know what your business is.
So my business is Taste Bud Tantalizing Treats. I make cakes, cupcakes, and Rice Krispie treats.
Ma'am.
I do custom cakes by order. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Taste Bud Tantalizing Treats. You can hit me up for the business line. It's 513-327-8018. Let me know how I can bless you and your family and give you a sweet taste of nostalgia with these homemade treats that I make. And today I even brought a little razzle dazzle, little strawberry crunch cupcake, strawberry crunch Rice Krispie treats. That's
a house favorite.
Yes,
that's
it
a house
is.
favorite.
You know what I mean? I got you. Whatever your need is, let me tantalize your taste buds.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that what that does?
Yes. Mouth watering.
Y'all already know.
Period.
Yes, and you, ma'am.
Well, I don't have like an official business, but I am a full service marketing consultant. So anything you need as far as like getting clients, and marketing is very like misconceptualized sometimes because it is such a broad spectrum of things. So no, I'm not like a graphic designer, but if you're looking to bring clients into your business or trying to understand the behaviors of the people that already buy your products so that you can then like turn it into new business or find more people like them, I'm your girl. So I do the research, I put together case studies, make personas, and I can tell you who you need to target.
Okay,
to sell your product
to. So, okay.
If you need something, just drop something in the comments. I'm not gonna drop my number, but Enjoli will get back to me, and we'll get together.
Listen,
we'll get together.
We gonna hook you up. Okay, so listen, this podcast is about sharing our human experiences dealing with the church world. Most people that are coming on here are believers, okay? So this is not a bashing of the church. This is just sharing an experience in hopes that if you are dealing with something that you are holding on to, that you haven't healed from, or maybe you feel like you're all alone in this world because of some things you've dealt with, I guarantee you, people that are on here, they have been through some things and they've also overcome some things. Okay, so stay tuned. So I'm gonna start with you. What's your story? What is your overcome story dealing with growing up in church, or how did you grow up? Just give me your story.
Yeah. So for me, I really had like a really good church experience growing up. I mean, when I was growing up in church, there was like maybe like 25 of us youth that would go to church. So we would always have fun. Those were my best friends growing up. Our youth pastor was dope. My parents ran Vacation Bible School. My grandmother was a minister in the church. A lot was expected of me, but I loved it. I really did. I did the plays. I sang. Everything was smooth. I really didn't have any problems growing up in church. But it was once I was grown that when I was trying to seek God for myself, because obviously when you're young, it's like, you know what they tell you, but not from experience, because I got baptized when I was 5 years old. I'm getting baptized because I love Jesus with all my strength and all my mind and all my heart. Girl, what does that mean? You're 5. You're 5 years old. So once I was grown, I had moved to Cincinnati. I'm from Cleveland originally, and looking for different churches to go to and to seek, God for myself, to see what it is. And so when it came down to it, I really felt that I was a believer of God and Christ, and Jesus came. So I'm like, okay, I need to find a church to do so. So once I finally graduated from school, how do I want to say this without without doing too much? I came up on an opportunity. I met a man.
It always starts with a man. Okay. All right.
Okay. I'm minding my business. I'm working, and I met a man, and we start having a conversation. Nice looking man, and he ends up telling me that he's a youth pastor. And so we get into a conversation, and I mean, he's good looking. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I could come to church. You say you got Bible study tonight. Okay, I'll bring the chips. I'm grown at this point, but he runs a youth, program. So I'm like, good. It's mentorship. I'm down. Right. At the same conversation, he also told me that, his church was hiring and they were looking for someone. And I had just recently graduated from school with my bachelor's in communication. So it just kind of all fit well and nice and dandy. So I went to the Bible study. It was great. Everything was good. The youth were fun. I was excited. I'm a bit older than them. So like they were almost looking at me like a big sister type of deal. Yeah. And I was just so excited to, be a part of a new ministry that I felt like I could sink my teeth into with, I don't know, somebody that's kind of nice to look at, leading the group. And I mean,
aesthetically pleasing.
Yes, very, very much so. And I mean, I was young. I was 22, I believe. So still, kind of in the impressionable stage. And again, looking to get back into like Christ and to know him for myself and what that meant for me.
Yeah.
So after the Bible study, youth pastor walked me out. Everything was good. And he gave me this hug. And he gave me this hug, and it was long and it was drawn out, and I'm 22, y'all.
Yeah. Your antlers, your antennas probably wasn't up like that.
No, they weren't. And I'm just like, okay, like, oh, he liked me. But it just didn't even, like, that was the thought. But like, hindsight 2020, that was the thought. Alyssa, come on now. Like, you should have thought, what is wrong with this man?
Right.
But anyways, I continued to go to the youth ministry. I did end up getting a job. He did continue to flirt. It turned into a little bit more than flirting, and we were going on dates, and he was, he was so nice to me. He was kind. He was telling me, he really loved my heart for Christ how dedicated.
Wink. Your heart.
It's not
my heart. It's your beauty. And how, how he liked my heart and everything. And I just was really all in. And we started this relationship. It was a romantic relationship. And we were, like I said, dating and kissing and having sex and all types of crazy things. Fornicating with the youth pastor.
God.
Sorry, I should have warned y'all before that already came in.
Took a turn.
And But as like when I was I'm so impressionable. I'm early 20s and I'm in the church though. And I'm going and I'm listening to the word of God. And it's just like what I feel like that experience like really did to me was show me or like make me feel that I could be of Christ and of the world at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, when we're talking forgiveness and God forgives everything, if you repent or what have you, I would quite honestly just do what I wanted until it was over, then turn around and ask for forgiveness
my bad, Lord.
Sorry.
Be back next week.
Yep. And so it got to the point where we both lost our jobs, to say the least. And like the worst part about the entire experience is that I found out that he was married.
My God.
We found this I found this out early on. It was.
Well, wait a minute. Let me pause for the cause.
Yeah, married with a child. And I found this out one day because his wife had walked into my office and was just like, "Hey, how you doing? I heard like you're the new person here, woo, woo, woo." And I was like, "Yeah, and you are?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm redacted number one's wife." Oh. And this is redacted number one's child. Oh. Nice to meet you. Really nice to meet y'all.
Okay, what did you feel in that moment? Because
I was livid. No. I was livid. But at the same, because I legitimately had no idea. We had been on dates. He had been to my home. Like, I had no idea. And so.
You thought you loved
I really ended up, I was developing love. This man had met my friends and all, like, I had invited my friends to this particular ministry to come kick it. And people were, like, my friends were coming. Like, I know my friends and I know like what they need. And so we were all searching for the same thing at the same time. And so we all kind of.
Not only did you meet a man of God, but you're able to have your friends develop a relationship with God at the same time.
Right.
Exactly.
He's not going to lead you astray. Why
would he? Because he's in church. He's the youth pastor.
He's a pastor. You know what I'm saying? Like the mindset is supposed to be there. So like me looking at him and mirroring his actions, it was just, I mean, like I said, I'm 30 now. So hindsight 2020, but it's like at the end of the day, I was just trying to get closer to God and trying to get closer to this man at the same time. But he was married. And then once I found out he was married, I was, livid, girl. Yeah. Livid. I'm blowing his phone up like, some woman just stopped to hear it, says she's your wife. Yeah, we're separated. Don't worry about that.
But she's showing up at the...
Okay.
All
so y'all separated. Okay, explain that a little bit more. Oh, dang, I'm sorry to hear that happened to you. I'm sorry to hear that that's happening to your family. That's so messed up. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to be here for you.
Yeah.
Man.
And our relationship continued.
Yes.
Continue. And it got blown so far out of proportion to the point where it's like his wife ended up finding out. Like I said, we both ended up getting fired from our positions at said church. And it just wasn't good. Like, and when I say like looking back on it, it's just I can see myself like being so impressionable by this person in power and how he took advantage of that. And even, I mean, never mind, I'm not even gonna try to give him no pass. So I was gonna say, even if he didn't think that, but that's not true, because I went through his stuff one time and it was another woman from another city.
So he's just out here
from doing the same thing to somebody else, and he had actually gotten that woman pregnant. And same thing, his wife had found out about it, and whatever, they had picked up and they moved to Cincinnati, and that's where they dropped.
Where they were at, and she's thinking she's gonna have a new life, and he's gonna change his behavior,
and did the same thing over and over again. And then wouldn't you know it, once everything hit the fan again, they picked it up and they moved again
somewhere else.
And they moved again. And so it was just, like I say, looking back on it, it's just like how impressionable I was. Like my church hurt didn't come at a young age, and nor did it come in a way where I could identify it immediately because it was not hurting me. It was something I felt like was drawing me closer to God and getting me closer to what I felt like I deserved as far as like my love and my marriage or whatever it was that I felt that God had for me. But at the end of the day, y'all, he gone. And that's over.
And then how do you move on from that? Like when you go, because obviously, if I've been removed from a position at a church, then I'm probably not going to continue as a member of this church because of the embarrassment, because I'm sure somebody knows why I'm no longer in this position. Yeah. So then what happens next?
So what happened next was I followed him to another church. He was not working there, but we were attending because we needed somewhere else in the city to worship and go because that was what was important to us. So went to another church, and it just went on way too long. And at the end of the day, as far as moving past that entire situation, it took me a long time. And like I said towards the beginning, it's like not being fully in Christ, you know what I'm saying? Like feeling like I'm going to get a pass every single time that I'm in sin or I'm doing something that I know is wrong or whatever the case may be. Like God got this covered, God got this covered no matter what, which is, you know what I'm saying? That is true. But when you're intentionally going out and you're straddling that line of I want to be, you know what I'm saying? Not something that you're struggling with internally or something, because you know God sees your heart. But if you're intentionally straddling that line and just going back and forth, God cannot honor that. And it took me within the last couple of years have I even been able to just like reset and take a step back and be like, okay, what's the truth? What's really the truth? And what really do I need to govern myself by? Thinking back, a man is married. That's a sacred institution, period. Yeah. He wasn't divorced, wasn't fully divorced, wasn't whatever they said they was. By the way, they got, never mind.
Catch it. That's what, oh, no, snatch it back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish them the best. That's all I got to say about that. But it was just one of those things that I had to, like I said, take a step back. What's the truth? Alyssa, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So get your own mans. That's the first thing. Yeah. Let's start there because I'm not into sharing. So get your own mans and really understand like what that situation did to you. Like it really had to make me take a step back and look at myself, because this man was telling me he loved me, he was in love with me, he wanted to be with me. This is, we were gonna build our own ministry and everything of that nature, and like it was just all lies. And so just having that experience, having like my friends involved and everything like that, it really was a web to untangle from. And I mean, to this day, and if y'all happen to see this and you happen to look at this podcast, which I hope it reaches you eventually, stop liking my stuff. Stop liking my pictures. Stop sliding in my DMs to this day. Don't slide in my DMs on Mother's Day talking about Happy Mother's Day. I didn't have kids when we were, you know what I'm saying, when you knew me. So why are you keeping up with me for no reason? And it's just like y'all are coming back looking for me in the same space that y'all thought I was in 8 years ago. And I'm gone from there. And quite honestly,
see, I'm really grateful that you didn't allow that experience to deter you from God, period. Because after you talk about getting fired from a job, one that's income, going through that sort of embarrassment, then having your heart played with, like that would turn anybody away from God. And then you have a purpose, you have gifts that's somebody out there is waiting on your gift to flourish. So I'm really glad that you didn't allow that to stop you, even with the weirdness going on to this day. Leave her alone. I don't know. Like
the ship has sailed. It's very much giving blog. Don't create new pages.
I don't know if any of you have gone through an experience like that. Like, drop a comment. Like, let us know. Like, listen, because this is also about like we know the Lord for real. Like, if you need us to pray with you, if you've gone through that experience, drop some in the comments, because somebody went through it and they got over it. Like you're not stuck, you're
Or
not
is currently
defined
going
by
through it.
or is currently going through it. Like you're not alone. Like we have somebody that went through it. So girl,
Baby.
Yeah, girl.
Girl.
The power trip. What is it? Power struggle, power dynamic. There you go. The power
Yeah,
dynamic
yeah.
between anybody in a authoritative position.
yeah.
It really can get to you. So I just urge everybody, if you feel like you may be in a position like that, or just because someone is like of a higher status, or you're holding them at a higher standard, make sure that their actions match where you're holding them versus
Do they actions line
being
with the
influenced
scripture?
by the
Bible.
crap.
Well, because sometimes they might be in scripture, but their actions still not aligning with what God's heart is,
So
which is the experience.
That's your story. That's your story. Listen, while Tisha's telling her story, I need you to drop some hearts in the comments for our girl that done healed, that done came a long way from what she gone through. Drop some hearts in the comments for us, because listen, to come on here to share her story, to
It's
help
not
somebody
easy.
else, that's not easy. That's beyond what you could imagine, getting on a camera and sharing her experience, because that's what this is about. Opening up, unhiding our human experiences so we can all heal together. So
understanding that healing is a process, and that even in sharing your experience, that is actually uncovering a layer at times. So here we are, right?
Here we are,
right?
yeah.
So for me, I came from a family that, I don't know, I guess you could say they was believers, but not for real, because my grandma did not go to church. Okay. So my grandma didn't go to church. My mama didn't go to church as a child. And then I ended up, I went to foster care. I grew up in foster care after being removed from my mom's home, and my foster mom went to church, and she was a member. She was a treasurer. She sang, all those things.
Did it all.
And as a child, I just always knew, I felt that I had a relationship with God because somebody had to be watching over me. You know what I mean?
For real.
Given the
one.
experiences that I had growing up as a child. So naturally, you go to school. I went to school. I got out. I had friends from college, and a friend, invites me to go to church. Went to that church for a while, and that friendship got a little rocky for a while. So I didn't go to that church anymore because of the way the friendship had worked out, and having felt like, because she and I were going through some things that the other people that I had met through her,
it's like
were kind of not the same, right? So I had went to like a little Christmas play, and one of my friends invited me, like, you should come to my church. You should come visit. I think you'll really like it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm coming up on my, I think I'm 25 at this point, about to be 26. So I'm like, okay, I had just experienced my appendix rupturing in the fall. And it was so bad that the doctors were like, we can't open you up. If we do, you will die on the table. So I'm taking antibiotics. They're trying to get the infection to suppress from the inside before I can have my surgery. So December is coming around. My surgery is scheduled for January. It's December. And I'm like, okay, God, we went to this Christmas play. My friend invited me to come to church. It's New Year, I'm going to church, okay?
New year, new me.
New year, new me, legit, okay? So 25, I start going to this church, and I jump in. They were very kind. They got people at the door greeting you and hugging on you, and it's like, oh wow, this is nice. You know what I mean? Start going to Bible study. So I'm 2 services on Sunday, Bible studies on Tuesdays. Eventually, develop a relationship with the head of the ministry, with the heads of the ministry, and become I guess like an unofficial armor bearer. If you are in the church world, you know what an armor bearer is, right? So I end up being someone that is very close to the mother and father of the house, right? And I'm being taught to follow them as they follow Christ. That's the word. Follow me as I follow Christ.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I'm new to church. I don't know what I'm supposed to do or what I'm supposed to say, or I don't know how to pray. And what, like she said, follow me as I follow Christ. So in following her, I'm on the cleaning team, and I come and I clean her home. I clean her bathrooms. I wash her clothes. I fold her clothes. I take her to the grocery store. I take her to the mall.
Yes.
So I'm learning how, I guess the word was learning how to have a servant's heart, right?
By serving
the
them,
woman,
her.
the man and woman of God. Okay, so not serving
God.
the community, not serving
widows, children that the Bible says we should
Elderly.
be the elder.
not the elderly. We're not. I'm not
Okay.
evangelizing in the streets. I'm serving the man and woman of God, and through this, I'm learning how to carry myself as a woman. I'm learning how to dress in the church. I'm learning how to be submissive to my husband. And so this is what I did. And then my mom gets cancer. She got cancer like 6 months after I got married. And then she died 3.5 months later. So I'm a newlywed. And this is my biological mom. So not my foster mom, my bio mom that I had rekindled a relationship with during my college years or whatever. So she passes, and I don't know if you know about, how some churches, this is one of those glory seed churches, okay? Form a line for a $1,000 glory seed, or you got a $500 line here, you got a $100 line, you know what I mean? So to give you a little bit of backstory, physical lines in the church when like on a Sunday service or something like that. So when the Spirit of the Lord hits the house, and you want to sow a seed, sow. Okay, so this is a sowing seeds kind of ministry. Okay, so I'm learning that to give. I'm learning how to give of my time because I'm serving the man and woman of God. I'm cleaning. I'm doing the things. I'm learning how to give of my finances because the ministry. Will a man rob God?
Malachi 3:6.
Malachi 3:10.
3:6. Yes, you're right.
3:10. So I'm giving, right? So then my mom is passing. I'm getting money from an insurance policy. And mind you, my mom just died. That relationship had just been, it's still new. I'm an adult trying to rekindle a relationship with my mother who I longed for all these years in foster care. So now that is abruptly over, and I'm a newlywed. And then
that's a lot.
I get this money, and and we give the money to a portion of my money goes thousands of dollars handed over to the pastor.
The
pastor,
not the church.
Not the church. I tithe. Like literally go to the bank, get several $1,000s in cash money in a bank envelope, and not in a seed that I put into the basket during Sunday service, because that's a glory seed. I'm going to sow that seed in church, but I'm a tithe unto the man of God, because the Elijah and Elisha with that that
No,
yeah
that's
yeah
not- that's
with
not how
that
that's not what that
relationship and
was
how
saying.
because he was so close to the man of God that he
was given
received
the man-
yes he
the,
received the
the
mantle.
bless-
So when you're tithing unto
Get out of
the man and woman of God,
That is crazy.
you're going to receive because I'm 20 at this point. I'm 28. Hadn't had my 29th birthday, so my mom died on February 1st. I'm 28. I'll be 29 in a month and a half.
Yeah.
2 months almost. So I'm 28 years old, newlywed, hadn't even had a year anniversary yet, and I give this money because I guess that's what God wants me to do. I'm supposed to sow
That's what you
into
think, yeah.
because that's
the
what
man
they
and
were
woman of God. You know,
leading
I
you to
receive.
believe.
So it's like if I won the lottery, I'm gonna get the church off top. You know what I mean?
right,
But
right.
I didn't give it to the church. I gave it to the man. And then with that, it's like, hey, so if you would like to invest some money so that you can make some more money for y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all newlyweds, you might want to start build a savings so that you can have children and have money, whatever. So I got this opportunity where if you give me $1,000, I can get you some foreign money and you'll be able to exchange that because the exchange rate is going to go up soon, and then you'll be able to exchange that dollar for dollar. So $1,000 right now will get you $1 million in this particular country's currency.
Okay.
So not only, so I said, oh, okay. Me and my husband decide, oh, that's a great idea. Why not? Right? It's only $1,000, and like I said, I just got the money. Right? I mean, I ain't paid the credit cards off. I ain't did none of that stuff
Eliminate your
yet,
own
okay?
debt. Right.
Like,
Did you put
okay,
some of
cool.
it on yourself? Right.
Not yet. Okay. So do that. So I got this $1 million in foreign currency, but also I got to tithe that to him too. So I give him a couple 100,000 of the foreign currency off top.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Tithe is 10%. A couple 100,000.
About 300,000. But so 10% would have been, 100,000.
So he you needed to tithe in an offering to.
Yep, I guess. Well, this is what I did. All I can this is what I actually did. Right?
Yeah.
So, fast forward, have kids, and decide the ministry is not not serving our needs as new parents and newlyweds, and decide to,
because you're taking a lot
Right.
from us,
Yeah.
and we have children.
like
that
we
we're trying to
made like
provide for.
real sacrifices in our lives as we were serving the man and woman and serving God, like uprooting our lives, moving across the country, doing things that we thought were right. You know, so we ended up leaving that ministry and went to another one, got a job there. That didn't really, that ministry didn't work out. Mind you, I'm a wife. So if you know me, I used to be a submissive but as in a relationship, I want nothing more than to be pleasing to the person that I'm with. So I'm going along with, I want to be led, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm
Absolutely.
following.
Right,
So we go
right.
from one ministry to the one that I'm currently in, but not realizing that I'm carrying the hurt from the previous, that first
Place to place to
experience,
place to
is
place.
inside of me, you know, because I also have grief that I never got to deal with
right.
based on what I was told while I was going through that situation
Right,
from that
right.
former upline or whatever. So I'm carrying this to the next ministry. I brought it to the current ministry, and I'm going into 40 now. I'll be 40 in 2 weeks. Okay, your girl.
40 where?
Exactly. Benjamin Button over here, right? But it took me until 2023 to have gone through multiple hurts. So now you're just one trauma on top of another trauma on top of another trauma. And now that marriage is over, and then I jump into another relationship, and now I have another child, and I'm still in this ministry that I came to with my ex, but I'm trying to listen to people that I know have strong relationships with God. So my older sister had encountered my current pastoral leadership at a church where she lives in another state, and she said,
that's where it's at.
God told me to tell you not to leave there, Tisha. I understand that your relationship is not where it was, and you know you're going through things, but don't leave that house. And so I'm trying to learn how to trust the people that are in my circle, because truth be told, if I did that all the time, I might have escaped some of these traumatic experiences, you know what I mean? Or been more aware of them at the time. So now I'm in this ministry, and I've been there for about 7 years now, you know, but it took me to experience another like life-shattering trauma at the end of 2022 for me to be like, okay, God, your girl there. I don't know, because I'm at the breaking point. I don't know what else to do. I've been in this ministry, and I have not given my finances. I'm not ashamed to tell you. No, I sat here for all of these years. Now, mind you, I might have needed help, but I never asked the ministry for any financial help. I've sold of my time. I was in the youth ministry. I'm singing on the praise team. I am tithing of my time, you know what I mean? And of my effort at bringing my kids along. I'm doing all of those things, but financially, I was so hurt from my previous experience, and thousands of dollars having given to a ministry that could not do anything for me when I needed help.
Because that's where I want to like chime in and say, like, during that time, like, they asking for all this money, you scrubbing floors, they say it's an armor bearer, whatever. But the fact is, you're talking about grief when you lose a parent. I haven't experienced that firsthand, but secondhand I have. And that is a blow that you can't even explain.
Like,
it's
have to fight
devastating.
Tears currently, just talking about it, because it's a lifelong process of healing. And to try to go through that experience with people who I'm sure that their initial intentions in starting their ministry, I want to believe that they wholeheartedly were seeking God initially. But I know that because we are flesh, we're not supposed to be of the world, but we are in it. And sometimes that worldly influence can really change a person. And being young, because coming into that ministry at 25 and having that be my first adult real experience at God, you know, and receiving the gift of tongues and everything in this ministry, learning how to be a Christian and walk this thing out. I was naive and didn't know and what to look for, and didn't know what was sound, quote unquote, sound doctrine. You know what I mean? So now I'm almost 40, and in 2023, I said, okay, God, I'm going to start tithing. I got my tithing statement, and I said, oh, man, baby, I only missed 1 month in 2023.
That's what's up.
And I gave. And the point of me sharing that is that your girl should be in a cardboard box with these 3 kids with the way that my finances, with the way my checking and savings is set up. But God, because he honored my heart for him, and he honored the fact that I decided to do something, and consistency is struggle bus. I was so consistent in that for the first time in a long time. And he truly has honored that, and he has truly kept me, and he is currently still restoring those things that are no longer there.
That you feel like you lost.
You know what I mean? That I've lost. You know what I mean?
In those situations.
You know, like I said, healing is a process, and I'm still healing. But because I am learning how to go to seek God,
and not
not man, and not look to the man and woman of God to do it for me,
Yeah.
he is blessing me beyond what I can explain. You know what I mean? Like lights are on, bills are paid, gas is in the car, kids are growing and flourishing. Listen, if you trust him, he will provide. And putting your trust in him, because I realized I probably was a lot putting my trust in them because I felt like they were leading me in the way that I was supposed to go. They're going to get me to God. I'm going to get to the promised land because I am doing what I'm being told to do. And so, that's the story. There's a lot of other things, but that right there, that's what I carried probably more than anything into this ministry, and just sat back and did not give up my finances until I realized this church is out here in the community. This church is doing for others. I see that. And so
it's
let me
one of those
help.
things that, once again, I'm super glad. Can we drop some hearts in the comments for Tisha for overcoming? Can we drop some of these? Because again, going through that experience, you're talking about grief, extortion, money laundering. It sounds like a crime was happening, but whatever.
No, for real.
Like, no, so, like, first you had to give me 100,000. That's 10%, but I had to get 300. That math wasn't mathing. But regardless, carrying the grief, going through the trauma of the separation, leaving the place you thought was like, that's enough to make anybody say, you know what, forget it.
It was plenty of times like, I'll be Bedside Baptist the rest of my life.
And you
the courage
could've.
it took to continue searching for a ministry, because whatever it is that you learned and internalized that was true, you were still seeking that. And so like that's just so commendable, just because so many people would have gave up. But like you said, you found your ministry, you found where you feel that you can actually sow, because you weren't doing that. I mean, you were doing that to be obedient, but you were doing that from your heart too. And because like that's what you're, not what you're supposed, but it's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking biblical, if we're talking scripture, but it's like you were doing that of your heart, and to have your heart hurt so bad, you literally would not and could not do that until you saw for yourself that this is what God has for me. Girl, I commend you. That's what's up.
I want to share. So a part of this, like, I'm gonna be sharing a lot of stuff that, like, I believe, like, it's great to have these conversations. It's great to share, but I want to give you some tools so you can have something, you can leave with something after you turn this podcast off. And so a lot of that might be some books that I've read to help, get me through some, some trials and some times, right? So this book, I've read this before. It's called Who Moved My Cheese. Now, this is not necessarily a spiritual book. However, it talks about change and adapting to change. So I wanted to read something from it that I think will apply here. So it says, he knew that when you change what you believe, you change what you do. And so I wanted to share that because a lot of us have believed the wrong thing.
Right. Yeah.
We were told the wrong thing and we believed the wrong thing. And so for so long, we continued to do the wrong thing because we didn't change what we believe, because probably we didn't know that's what we needed to do in the first place. So when you stop and you take a look, like, you know what, something ain't right here. That's when you seek God for yourself, because obviously if you find yourself in a hamster wheel, like you're doing a whole bunch of stuff and you ain't going nowhere. If you find yourself in a situation where you're dealing with trauma, but you haven't dealt with your trauma, you keep putting a Band-Aid over it because you think that's what you're supposed to do. No. When you change what you believe, you change what you do.
It's true.
So I'm encouraging you today, if you are questioning what you believe, seek some help. Seek some sound. Jesus and therapy. I'm probably going to say that almost every time. Like, Jesus and therapy is a great combination. Okay? Seek him first. Read the word. Okay, well, I don't know where to start. Start with a Bible plan. We all got our phones.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you got all that unlimited internet for no reason. download a Bible app, find you a Bible plan to help. It's all about a process. Okay. So if you need to peel back those layers of the things that you believe that weren't true, it's all just a process. Start somewhere. At least just start. That's all what these individuals did. It wasn't just an overnight process. It wasn't a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I said a prayer and it's over.
It's a lifelong. It's a walk.
It's a walk.
And it never ends.
It never
What they say,
ends.
it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
It's a marathon. And that's exactly what it is. So I hope that you leave here today, that you feel once seen. You may have gone through a similar situation like these young ladies did. And as you can see, it's real. Your experience is real. What you went through was real, and they got past it. They got through it. They're still getting through it. It's a process. So I hope you feel seen today. I hope you have some tools that you can leave with to help you on your journey. And as always, as we say on Chic Life Network, I want you to live life. I want you to love God. And I want you to keep it chic, live chic. We'll talk to you soon.